When I was born, I didn't really have asthma.
Companies have been making record profits year on year.
But when I was 2.5, I started getting asthma.
It's well known that it's because of the pollution around this area.
Monitoring pollution doesn't mean you're going to reduce pollution.
I'm a product of forced removal.
And once he almost died.
The SO2 levels of engine has come down.
You had to go for a bone marrow transplant.
It was because community had built up the pressure.
Your wind pipeline just gets blocked. You can't breathe.
Pipes, these are the words they use, are rotten.
These are white industries.
We've overtaken government.
I'm speaking to you on the basis that you're going to do your best to paint a balanced picture.
I think that's an inappropriate response.
Obviously there's nosebleeds.
And they adamantly denied it.
It's hard for me to put in words.
He protects. He's refined.
They definitely are not doing enough.
There's no doubt that it causes cancer.
I don't need to defend what I do.
They are pristine conditions.
Because they were using double standards.
There's a cold wind blowing in my city. It's all the space you left behind. Yeah, you chose to leave early. But after you're still blowing in the wind.
Hello, can I speak to Patricia, please? Patricia, hi there. My name is Greg Streak. I was given your number by Eureka Singh from the Durban City Planning Department. I'm an independent artist. I'm working on a project called Tangencia, which sees a whole lot of artists working in and around communities in Durban. And I've been given the Wentworth area, and I'm obviously very much aware of the relationship or the conflict that the community has with industry with regards to pollution. And I'm looking to make a small documentary film which kind of reflects the different perspectives of all the players involved. And Eureka, I had an interview with her the other day, and she suggested you very strongly in terms of someone that I could speak to. And I would very much like the opportunity to meet with you and involve you in the film, if that were possible.
Wait, I don't greet you or anything, I just say my name. My name is Patricia Dove. I'm the chair lady of the Wentworth Organization of Women. The three main companies are Saprif, Mondi, and Engen. We have issues around these three industries, but we also see the need to work with them.
Hi, could I speak to Margaret Rowe, please?
Margaret Rowe, good morning.
Margaret, hi, it's Greg Streak here. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Greg. How are you?
Okay, thanks. I got your mail, I think, on Friday. You know, unfortunately for me, it doesn't really address any of the issues around the pollution. For my part, in terms of the film, there'll be a massive hole.
Yeah.
And you know, basically, you know, your mail to me, I mean, is tantamount to a no comment.
We had a vision for Fredericia, and that's why we put so much of money in Shell. That's why we built one of the best refineries. So what vision did you have for Durban? People are put first in Denmark. In South Africa, it's the other way around. Profits before people, and we need to change them.
And I'd just like to urge you to maybe reconsider the opportunity here. The SAPREF's response kind of feels like, we don't want to say anything about this, and it feels like something's been hidden.
Discovered on the 7th of July, and on the 12th of July, I was admitted to the hospital. I was in hospital for 2 weeks. I was chronically ill.
A leak occurred here. A petrol leak occurred, but nobody picked it up. And the only way it was picked up was when one of the residents smelled the petrol coming out of the stormwater pipe.
People along this road here, Anglia Road, they've all been relocated out of their homes. Petrol is all right under their home. The hydrocarbons comes up into the air. They can't eat. They can't have their lunch and breakfast there.
My theory is that they knew it was leaking, right? But they didn't bother to repair the leak because it was cost effective for them to lose that amount of petrol while they pumped it through, making the profits on the other end. So why stop your petrol flow to repair a pipe if you know it's leaking, but you're not leaking that much? So 1 million liters of petrol leaked out of this pipe. There are 14 pipes here.
They said, well, look, it's petrol. There was petrol in the stormwater pipes.
The Shell and BP refinery, the petrol pipeline, had a major leak in 2001, which communities found, incidentally. Shell couldn't even find that themselves. Didn't even know about it.
Eventually, it boiled down to it was SAPREF's a fuel pipeline that was leaking, and it leaked approximately 2 million litres of petrol.
The last count was 1.3 million litres of petrol. For us, it looks like it's 3 times that amount because we're 3 or 4 years down the road now.
I think we had to make a decision on it. There have been other videos made that where we have participated. It really sort of it hasn't really helped.
I believe the way Shell works is that to have very good refineries is costly and therefore will eat into their profit margin. So what happens is they reap the profits from the south, where they do bad exploration in Nigeria, bad refining in South Africa, and what happens is the profits that are larger in the south sets off this very smaller profits of the north. Sabonuja. Tell your boss that I'm taking photos, and if he wants to make up noise, he must phone me. Let me give you my telephone number. Tell your boss if he wants to phone me, he can phone me. Okay. So what had happened was, this is public land, and I'm sure you have it even worse in Nigeria. This is public land, and they don't want us to take photos, and they try to intimidate us quite often on this issue.
We'd look at reviewing that once you basically collated all your information and you had some idea, a better idea of the angle you were taking and how you were going to use the information.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Margaret, if there's no information coming from you, then there's very little to review.
It was sort of ricocheted. Mrs. Pucky got sick. Her grandson got sick. Mary Ann, it was Mrs. Bauer, it was me, it was the people next door and the people on the... So, one by one, everybody was getting sick and everybody had the same symptoms. Respiratory problems, breathing problems, nose problems, eyes, headaches, and everybody had the same symptom. SAPREF, always argued the point that it wasn't them. They got a company out called Infotox, and they were scientists, as I was told. And they reckon that there's absolutely no way that these toxins could possibly affect us. Dr. van den Linden, SAPREF, sent me to him. Dr. van Salm actually sent me there. And apparently, I mean, look, he is a lung specialist, and he said yes. There's no two ways about it. The toxins will affect you. It's going to affect you.
The thousands of rands that they spent on
indigenous
plants around
that wall that
I mean, this is really sad because this was all indigenous. This was all indigenous area before, which they've rehabilitated, and they make a big hoo-ha about how they've rehabilitated it. And the question is, we don't want rehabilitation, we just don't want our place affected.
It's put up this global image of being a world leader in the industry. So I'll focus on Shell because of that. They've got the rhetoric, they've got the information out there, how good they are, how they work with people, how nice they are, how they don't destroy. They'll show you Rondebosch in the Western Cape, how they plant lovely flowers, you know. But in South Durban, they don't plant no flowers, they kill people. That's the difference.
Business, doesn't matter where you are in the world, business is there to make profit. And I think it's rather stupid when people kind of argue that business is there for some social responsibility reasons, or they're there for any other reason than to make profit.
This is their classic attempt at greenwash. They don't want to be able to. You shouldn't be able to see where these are still the pipes that are sucking out the petrol. And I mean, it's classical of industry to come to you when the real problems are pollution. That comes to say, what paint should we put on the fence? And I don't know what paint you put on the fence. I don't want them around, maybe.
When we discovered that it was our line, it was all open.
Yes. So the thing is that the community informed you. You know, the community informed you about the leak.
Sorry?
I said it was the community that informed, you know, the refineries that there was a leak.
Well,
it wasn't the other way around.
If